What's up, Bart? Can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Okay. Yeah, so this hand is 2-5, no limit hold'em. We're playing seven-handed at MGM Springfield. Good
Okay.
room. So yeah, we're 950 effective here.
Okay, so 950 effective.
Folds around to the button. He opens to 20.
Okay.
I'm in the small blind with king of clubs, ten of spades, and I use a polarized three betting range here, and 4x it to 80.
You use a polarized three betting range or a linear three betting range?
Excuse me, I'm at linear. Yeah,
Okay. Okay, you make it 80. That's fine. Obviously 4x. Yep.
he calls. We go heads up to the flop.
All right, so button calls. Wide configuration, right? Like, I mean, you're going to obviously three betting king 10 of clubs. Probably most of your hands out of the small blind. This is just two blinds, right? No straddle or anything. So, is that right?
Yeah, there's no straddle on.
Yeah, I mean, but still, most of your hands should be probably played as a three bet. But he's going to defend quite wide if he's if he's opening 40% of his hands and you make it 4x, he's probably ending up with maybe 60% of that. So it's 20 to 25% of all hands. So there's a lot of hands that he can have. Who knows if he's actually defending at that or opening at that rate? But I'm just just for the theory wise. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I obviously expect him to be defending a wide range here,
Yep.
but flop comes nine of clubs, jack of hearts, three of diamonds.
Nine of clubs, jack of hearts, three of diamonds. So you flop a gut shot. You've got king 10 of clubs, three betting out of the small blind. So you flop a gut shot, an overcard, and a backdoor club draw, right? Okay.
No, I don't have the backdoor club draw. I have king ten off, king of clubs, ten of spades,
Oh, my
the
bad.
rainbow
My
flop.
bad. That I thought it was king 10 of clubs because I had it in my notes. That is a little bit wide,
Yeah,
to,
I
to be
know.
honest with you. That is a little bit wide. That's definitely the bottom part because it's just like maybe king queen, maybe king jack off. I thought it was a slam dunk.
Yeah,
Three
I
bet
know
with
it's a
king
little
10 of
wide, but
clubs.
like being having a linear three betting range here, I feel like we should have some three bet bluffs here out of the small blind.
Well, I mean, linear usually just means like you're doing it with the best hands and sort of going up the top left type of chart. But again, all these terms are a little bit out there. We'll just call this the bottom part of a three betting range. So you flop a gut shot here with an overcard. Okay.
So I see bet 50 into what do we got? Once yeah, it's about 160 in the pot. So I see bet about a third.
Mm-hmm.
He calls.
Okay.
Uh, turn is the six of hearts, so it's a brick.
Okay.
And I double barrel 175, and he button makes the call.
All right. So a little thing about this here too, and button calls. I think that sometimes people miss out on the low bricks for double barrels. So Jack 9-3, right? You've got a number of different things that could connect with this board. 9x, Jack X, straight draws, right? Even though you've got some of the straightening cards in your hand. And then people sort of miss out when, the turn is like the deuce of spades or the three of spades. There's just absolutely no connection, right? Whatsoever. That is a good barrel card. It's not an over card, but it is a good barrel card in the sense that it just has absolutely no connection with the board whatsoever. The six is, I would say it's a little bit sort of blanky, but not quite as good. Obviously, it brings in the backdoor heart draw. 7-8, which is like a gut shot. If that's to 1/3, I mean, I could see someone defending with 7-8 with a backdoor. Now picks up open ended. I'm trying to think of some other hands here that the six might sort of connect with, where a guy might be able to sort of figure out. But obviously, two backdoor hearts too. So it's not. I mean, it's a pretty good double barrel card, but it's not the best in terms of connection.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if he calls, I can kind of narrow down his range a little bit more. I feel like he's going to be folding 9x here, pocket fives, some small pocket pair, that was set mining pre-flop. And then, once he makes this call, I'm really putting him on a Jack X type of hand here at
But
this point.
by the way,
I mean,
someone in the live chat saying this is a crazy bet size on the turn. I don't think if I mean 2/3 turn is really where the guy puts the hammer down. He goes 2/3 here on the turn on what is in essence a brick. So I don't think it's really all that crazy. But I think I'm on with you with in terms of this will should cut out. I mean, he still could be hanging around here with the 9. And notice the backdoor hearts here too. So you put 350 here on the turn, so the pot's 610.
So the river comes the ace of spades, and I've got 625 behind, and I go ahead and rip it all in. And he tanks for a long time
All right,
here on the river.
before you say what happens, this is why I remember I was sort of trying to take this call, this hand. I want to ask you, caller, and I want to ask everybody else out here that might consider running a bluff like this, which is fine in the sense that obviously it's like sort of the ultimate scare card. But is there some inherent unbalance? Because I don't know if all in is really the best bet size here. When you start to think about some of the other hand, if you ran into an ace here, say you had like ace 10, or say, for example, you started a bluff with ace high that picked up backdoor hearts, okay, something like that. Would you make this sizing on the river here if you ran into an ace?
I mean, I think I probably would, because I feel like like in live poker, the most of the population is overcalls anyways, and they overvalue their hands a lot by the river. And I think if I did back into an ace here, I'd probably jam and go for max value, just like I would with my bluffs here, like king queen, king 10. If I was double barreling and with ace king or ace queen, I think I'd probably jam this river, just and make it almost look like I was bluffing my way there, and then picked up the ace on the river.
Like if you had ace 5 of hearts, ace 4 of hearts, something like that.
Yeah, I think I still would probably jam the river there.
I mean, I think it's a little I mean, if you're saying that you would do that, then okay, but I don't really see it all that much, and I do think that I kind of want to use a little bit more of an efficient sizing here, in the sense that this might be one of those weird ones where even though your opponent's supposed to defend less when you bet more, right? That you might get even less fold equity for jamming for the reasons that maybe he doesn't know that you would do that with ace 4, ace 3, or ace 5 suited. He doesn't see any of the rest of the pot. I'm just sort of taking this from a population of a guy at 2-5 looking at this. He would never see somebody do that. So he might be more likely to call down with the jack. And if I can go half pot at the end here, half to 2/3, and get the same amount of fold equity versus jack X and 9X, that might be the play. It also might be a little bit more believable that I sort of take a value line here. That's kind of my thinking. That's why I might want to use a smaller sizing here at the end.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but in real time, it felt like, I gotta maximize fold equity here, and I really have to put as much pressure as I can. And I just felt like a jam was the play. I would have hate for if I bet half pot and he still makes the call with the jack here, I'd be kicking myself in the ass saying, well, why the hell didn't I jam here? Make the pot size bet.
Right. And my contention is, though, that this is somewhat of a unique scenario with this run out and the sort of general population, because they wouldn't go across for an all-in bet with ace X running into it at the end, that you're not even going to get more fold equity here. With 600, you might even get less fold equity, as crazy as it sounds, the way that this sort of looks. That somebody just mean by like, this guy's, I mean, and then if the guy's got like jack X here, so he's sort of blocking ace jack. I mean, what if you had pocket aces here? How would you play this at the end?
Yeah, I want to say I would still jam, just because I want to be balanced with my bluffs. Like I get what you're saying about getting max value here on the river and making it seem like it's like a value bet, but I feel like if I'm gonna be bluffing here on this river, most of the time it's gonna be a jam, and I would probably do the same with my value hands that caught up. I'm trying to think, like, what if I had like queens here though, or pocket kings here, and then the ace comes on the river. I was thinking about that and what I would do there. That's where I'd probably sneak in like a third pot bet or even a half pot bet to go for value to target Jack X.
There are some comments too in the live chat that your opponent might have some ace X here too that would call flop, pick up backdoor hearts or something like that. So there are some single paired aces that he has here too. I think you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So what ended up happening?
Yeah, he ends up he tanks for like at least 3-4 minutes, and not like it was probably about 3 minutes, and then he ends up making the call.
Mm-hmm. And what did he have?
And he had Queen Jack, he had Queen Jack off.
By the way, this is what I'm talking about too. I think Queen Jack off is going to be I would defend with that hand to 4x opening from the button here too, especially if I ever thought that you were out of line and really really sort of scraping there with like King 10 off. If there was ever a showdown, because it would be like, oh, this guy's going to be maybe a little bit looser with his 3 bets out of the small blind. So I would definitely defend there. I got to tell you, I'd have a hard time folding if I was your opponent. I just go back. I would be more scared of a smaller bet. I know it's counterintuitive, but
yeah, you're probably right about that. Not thinking about it, the jam does more look like a bluff here. Back to your point about the fold equity, it's almost like it's like reversed by jamming when you could just go for like the value, almost looking like it's a value bet and go for like that value bluff kind of style thing.
Yeah.
But I hear you. All right, thanks, Bart.
Thanks a lot, Josh. Appreciate it.